Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. But at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? From the Flames, Episode 21, Chapter 11, Left with Strangers. Sweat dripped down Willow's face as she focused on keeping the 2 icicles, which looked like ice-blue daggers, in the air. Astrid had ordered Willow to keep them hovering in the air for as long as possible in order to show that she was in control of her magic, and not that the magic was in control of her. After a while, Willow sensed a presence. It was a person, standing not too far away from her, staring at her. She could feel the person's eyes drilling into her back. Barely a second after she'd sensed him, she whipped around and threw the icicles at the intruder. They stopped inches away from his body, waiting for her to give them permission to pierce his skin and end his life. Then she realized who it was. "It's me, Sigurd! Come to train. I didn't mean to scare you. You did say I could train with you, didn't you?" he said, his voice strangled as he backed up a few steps, trying to avoid the icicles. The icicles echoed his movements. "Sigurd, you shouldn't have snuck up on me," Willow said, relaxing her body. She should have known that nobody wanting to hurt her would be here. The boundary mists would have kept them out. "I'm sorry. Won't happen again. Could you—" He indicated the icicles, still hovering near him. "Of course." Waving her hand, the icicles disappeared as suddenly as she'd created them. "Sorry about that. You scared me." "I'm the one who should be begging your pardon," he said, walking cautiously toward her. "As a token of my apology and admiration, please accept these," he said, pushing a bouquet of tiny blue blossoms into her free hand. "Oh, flax blossoms! I love them!" Putting her face into the bouquet, she inhaled their unique scent. Looking back at him with soft eyes, she said, "How did you know?" "I saw you admiring them when you were in town," he said, pushing a lock of hair behind her ear. Feeling suddenly warm, and not as a result of the work she'd been doing, Willow took a step back. "I should take these in and put them in some water." Leaning Val against a nearby table, she said, "I'll be right back." "Don't leave me with this heathen," Val ordered. "I'll only be gone a minute," Willow said as she walked away. Walking into the kitchen, where Hawk was doing some work, she set the flowers down on a counter and asked, "Where are the vases?" "They should be in the cupboard over by the sink. Why?" he asked, looking at her for the first time since she'd entered the room. "Where's Val? Where'd you get the flowers?" "What is this? 20 questions? Sigurd brought me the flowers. I told you he'd be coming to train with us," she reminded him when he looked shocked. "As for Val, he's outside with Sigurd," she said, filling a vase full of water. "You left him alone with a stranger?" Hawk asked in a strangled voice. "What were you thinking?" "It's not like I left him in the middle of the village, and Sigurd isn't exactly a stranger," she said, beginning to feel uneasy with her decision as she put the flowers into the vase. "Not a stranger? What exactly do you know about him other than the fact that he can pick flowers?" Hawk asked, already on his way toward the back door. Before she had a chance to reply, there was a scream. Running into the backyard behind Hawk, Willow saw Sigurd nursing his hand. Val was on the ground, a few feet from where she'd laid him. Running over to Val, she picked him up. "What happened?" "That lowlife had the audacity to pick me up," Val said. "Your staff burned me," Sigurd said at the same time. "He burned you?" Willow asked. "Why did you touch him?" Hawk asked sharply. "Him? What him? It was that bloody staff that burned me, and I picked it up because I wanted to," he snarled. "Don't talk to her like that," Hawk said, taking a step toward Sigurd. "Ever." "Everyone quiet," Willow ordered, pulling Hawk back next to her. She gave both men a threatening look before she turned to Val. "What happened?" "You left me with that numbskull. That's what happened," Val said, not being cooperative. "Can you be more specific?" Willow asked, trying to control her temper. "I was over where you abandoned me, minding my own business. Then he suddenly picks me up and starts trying to use me. Yes, that idiot was trying to use me for his own nefarious purposes. I felt threatened, and I burned him a little," Val said. Looking up at Sigurd, Willow said, "What is your side of what happened?" "What do you mean, my side? There's only one side, and it's what I have to say," he asserted, throwing his body into a nearby chair. "What is your side?" Willow asked again, this time letting her anger show on her face and voice. "I only picked it up to look at it. I saw the carvings and I wanted to study them better. Then it became hot and burned my hand." "Did you try to use him? Be very careful of your answer, because it will decide whether I trust you or throw you out," she warned, watching his eyes carefully. "I may have tried it out to see if I could make it do anything. I was just playing. It didn't mean anything," he said, his eyes pleading her to believe him. Deciding to take his words as truth, she said, "All right, I believe you, but never, ever do it again. If I leave him somewhere, don't touch him. Only touch him if I ask you to. Do you understand?" "Yes," Sigurd said, "I do. For the second time today, forgive me, my lady." Getting down on one knee before her, he took her hand. "Can you forgive me for my transgressions, my love, will you?" "I forgive you," Willow said, feeling the mood lighten. Pulling him to his feet, she said, "And I'm not your love." "Whatever you say, dearest," Sigurd said, his tone like honey. Hawk and Willow stood in the front of the house later on that day. They watched as Sigurd followed the path, going back to the village after a long day of training. "He's a slick one, he is," Hawk said, breaking the silence. "What do you mean?" Willow asked, her eyes still on Sigurd's strong, straight back. "All that 'my love' and 'dearest' garbage he was spouting today," he said, the words spitting from his mouth. "You think it's garbage that someone could love me?" Willow asked, her heart cracking. Did he really find her so unlovable? "No," Hawk said. His tone told Willow that he was genuinely stunned at the turn of the conversation. "Of course not. You are the most lovable person I've ever met. What I do find suspicious, however, is that he's saying it when he doesn't even know anything about you." "You don't believe in love at first sight?" "I do, but the only one he loves is himself, and whoever happens to be in power at the time," Hawk said. Looking down into her eyes, he said, "I just don't want you hurt because you believe what he says." Hawk turned and made his way back into the house without another word. Her eyes followed him for a few seconds before she turned her attention back to the road. Sigurd had disappeared from her sight. "Hawk's right," Val said. "About what?" Willow asked, now turning her attention to the sunset. The sky was turning different shades of blues and reds. Willow had watched many sunsets since coming to stay with Astrid, and she'd yet to see two that were exactly the same. It was as if the gods were painters who put brush to canvas every day to create a completely unique sunset. About what Sigurd was saying, it's too early to spout those types of endearments, especially to someone you've known for a day. Now, if those same endearments had come from Hawk, you could believe them, but not from what that poser was spouting. So you think he's trying to play me? Yes, but you won't listen. If you insist on keeping him around, remember to take his words with a grain of salt, a very large grain of salt. I don't want you hurt. If you do want to be hurt, then by all means believe every word that passes those lips of his. Otherwise, don't. I'll keep everything you said in mind. I haven't forgotten how he almost lied about trying to use you. I may forgive, but I never forget. I can't afford to, with such a huge target on my back. Finally, you're talking sense, Val said with a sense of relief. I always talk sense. You need to have more faith in me, Willow said, finally going inside for the night. Have as much faith in me as I do in you. I'll try, but it's hard when you leave me alone with strangers. This work is released under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it. Remix it, re-record it, transcribe it, share it. Just don't sell it or change the terms of the license. Your creation must be released under an Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.